Welcome to the next session on equations. Okay. In this one, I'm going to look at, first of all, I'm going to look at quite a complicated one that I've got here, where we're going to look at fractions again. All right. So let's just have a look. All right. Let's see. First of all, let's just write this one down. It is 1 over, and remember, please just pause the video and get a notepad, write it down, and as we go through it step by step with me, right? In other words, as I do it, go through it step by step. That helps you to check me as well, okay? But it's just learning the process, all right? Let's have a look. 1 over 2x squared minus x minus 3 plus, wait, yes, okay, is equal to, is equal to 3 over 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 minus 2 over x squared minus 1. All right, step 1. Let's write them down. Step 1, make it all equal 0. Right? In other words, take everything to the left hand side. Okay? Everything that side. So let's do that. 1 over 2x squared minus x minus 3 minus 3 over 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 plus 2 over x squared minus 1 equals 0. Done. Step 2. Factorize. Okay? Why do we factorize? Because when we're looking for the LCD, we don't want to repeat factors. Okay? The lowest common denominator, for example, of, let us say, 6 and 12. 6 is 2 times 3. 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. So I said take the first one is the 2 and the 3. I've already got a 2 and a 3 there, so I only need to take a 2 from here. Can you see that? The 2 is here, so I don't need that. The 3 is there, so I don't need that. The only one I need is that 2. I'm not going to repeat factors. That is the secret of this. Okay? Let's just erase that. Right. So I factorize, right? Let's have a look. The bottom, all right, is a trinomial. We say 1, it would help, 1 over, okay, 2x minus 3, all right, and x plus 1, okay, minus, that's also a trinomial, 2x minus 3 and x minus 1, right, plus 2 over, that is difference of 2 squares. Okay, you can see, look how long they start getting. I mean, this is one of the more difficult ones, but it gets very long, right? Okay, so what do I do now? So, right, we carry on and we say, therefore, draw a long line, equals 0. Take this one and this one down. Those are the first two factors. 2x minus 3, x plus 1, okay? In other words, I'm finding the LCD, which is step 3. Find the LCD. Take the first two factors down. Let's just go through this slowly. Okay? Take the first factor and the second factor down. Right? Then we go along and we say, right, 2x minus 3 and x plus 1. Do I have 2x minus 3? Yes, I do. So I don't need it. X minus 1. No, I don't have x minus 1. All right? I don't have it. Therefore, I must have x minus 1. Then I look and I say, do I have x plus 1? Yes. X minus 1? Yes. So I don't need to take those. We've got them already. Then we said take the numerator 1 from up there. And what happens here? What am I left with? The 2x minus 3 cancels with that. The x plus 1 with that one. Leaving us just with x minus 1. Okay? Then we bring down the minus 3, remember? Okay, bring down that one. And we're going to bring down the plus 2 as well in a few moments, right? Let's go. The 2x minus 3, I must multiply this by what? 2x minus 3 cancels with that, x minus 1 with that. So all that's left is the x plus 1. Plus 2 times x plus 1, x minus 1. So it leaves us with 2x minus 3. Right? Now at this stage, okay, all right, step 4, I've got it here, is restrictions. Step 4 is the restrictions. Okay, so I go down in on my sheet and I say restrictions over here are right. First of all, what did we say? How do we work them out? We look and we say make each one of those 0. So x therefore cannot be 1, x cannot be minus 1. So what did I do? I actually said x plus 1 equals 0, therefore x equals minus 1. I then said x minus 1 equal, put them equal to 0, therefore x equals 1. So the last one would be I put 2x minus 3 equal 0, therefore x cannot be equal to 3 over 2. Because if x was 3 over 2, what would we get? We would get 2 times 3 over 2 minus 3, which is, cancels, 3 minus 3 is 0, and we're not allowed to have that, right? So that's what we did at those points there. Now, we've got our restrictions. There's our block. We're going to carry on working now. And lastly, we're going to test. Okay, I'm going to erase these over here. This one specifically. I'll leave the others in place there. Remember, look, I've shown my working on the right-hand side. Okay. Restrictions are in. Step 5. Okay, drop denominator. Remember, this was equal to 0, which means what? Which means when we multiply through by that denominator, we are timesing it on the right-hand side by 0, which means it's gone. It only works if this is a 0 over here. If there's a number there, it's got to go to the other side, otherwise it won't work. All right? So now what are we left with? Now, quite straightforward. Basically, we just multiply out to the top, okay, which leaves us with x minus 1 minus 3x minus 3 plus 4x minus 6 equals 0. And we solve 2x minus 10 equals 0, x equals 5. Right? Now, check. Yes, x equals 5 is okay. It's a solution to the problem. All right? Now, let's just move on to the next series. The next series is a trinomial. All right? You've seen them in that last one there. You've seen them before. All right? I was going to go through these trinomials fairly quickly. First of all, a trinomial. Let's just write it down here. Okay, has got a standard form. And it is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, right? So, for example, let us say that we have x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0, all right? We want to know the value of x that will make this true. So what is the step 1? Factorize. How do we factorize that? Right? Right? Well, we factorize it as x minus 3, x plus 2 equals 0. Now, when we've got this, we then say x minus 2, plus 2 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0. And then, therefore, x is minus 2, x is plus 3. Right? And you can check by back substitution. right? You put x back in there and you'll see. If I put x in, let's add 3, I'll have 3 minus 3 times 3 plus 2, okay, which is 0 times 5, which is 0. Therefore, left-hand side equals right-hand side. So the answer is correct, okay? Now, what about, for example, this? Let's just say, they've given us an equation where they say x plus 1 squared is equal to x plus 1 times 2x plus 3. All right? Solve for x. Well, the first step is going to be to multiply out. I always do it like this. I know people say, yes, but you could be quicker. I don't really mind because, quite frankly, I'd rather get the right answer, okay, than just try and do it in my head. Then I put in my little art bridges, okay, and we get x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals, and this side is 2x squared. Remember those, please put them in, plus 3x plus 2x plus 3, right? And then we simplify it. We can say x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 2x squared plus 5x, those two, plus 3. Right? How do we solve? Group-like terms. So we take that to the other side, like so. Minus 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. All right? So far, so good. Everyone should be happy. And then we basically going to end up with minus x squared. Why? What do? Let's recap. We group like terms and then add and subtract them. Don't skip the step. Here they are. Let's have a look at them. Let's do red. X squared. There, we group those, right? Green. 2x and 5x. Group them. And lastly, the 1 and the minus 3, right? Group them, then add and subtract them, whatever they want you to do. We end up with minus x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals 0. Now, why I chose this one? Because it's got a minus sign in the middle of it. What do? Well, straightforward. We go and we multiply by minus 1. Okay, which essentially changes all the signs. And now we factorize. How do we factorize? It's a trinomial, always 2 brackets, right? X and x, because my option is x squared, and this has got to be a 2 and a 1, and then I find the signs that make it work, all right? Therefore, x equals minus 2, x equals minus 1. And there's my answers for it, right? All right? So let's have a look. What if they'd given us an equation like this, guys? Let's just look at this. They've said here, x minus 2. Okay, this is a different one. 2x plus 5 and 3x minus 1. What if they'd given us this? How do we do it? Recognize that what they've already done, okay, is they have already factorized the initial equation. All right? And what did we do when we had a trinomial over here? Here. We did what? We put each bracket equal to 0. That's what we do. We say, okay, if that times that times that must be 0, therefore, x minus 2 must be equal to 0, and 2x plus 5 must be equal to 0, and 3x minus 1 must be equal to 0, and then x is going to be equal to 2, x is going to be equal to minus 5 over 2, and x here is going to be 1 over 3. Right? Like so. Right. So, what we do there is we say, okay, we've got those answers for our problem. Now, what I want to show you okay, is this, all right? A lot of you are using calculators and more, so I'm just going to go through the calculator method, all right? Now, if you look at it, okay, let us say we've got x squared minus x minus 6, okay, equals 0. And we want to solve it. Now, that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? If you look at your calculator, obviously switch it on. At the top, okay, I'm using this one, all right, but you can use the different colored ones, right? Or the one that's got the blue or the black in the middle, right? First of all, if you press mode, okay, you'll see it comes up with a whole bunch of numbers. Depending upon your calculator, you will see more or less of these. You will see that on mine, for example, it comes up with 1 comp, 2 complex, 3 stat, 4 base n, 5 equations, 6 matrix, 7 table, 8 vectors, okay? Don't worry about matrices and vectors and complex. We're not going to do those. Right, so then we say, right, what do we want to do? Number 5, and I think on some it's number 3, is equation. EQN is equation. So we press 5, right? So it's, first of all, it's going to be mode, right? Then it's going to be equation, right? Equation. So we go to mode, we go to equation. Then it's going to give us a whole bunch of things again, which, and if you look at them, it's got A's, N's, B's, N's, etc., right? Please just look at equation 3. Equation 3. It looks like this: AX2 plus BX plus C equal 0. This is a trinomial. All right? Okay, all this does is it just makes it faster. So then we choose option 3. Okay? And you'll see that at the top it comes up with an A, a B, and a C. Okay, like that. And it comes up with spaces over there. All right? Essentially, we're going to fill in the coefficients A, B, and C. Right? So can you see over here, the first one that we've got is x squared minus x squared minus x minus 6. Okay? Remember, it was x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. So therefore, A is 1, B is minus 1, and C is minus 6. The coefficient of x is minus 1. The constant term is minus 6. So what you do is you say, right, 1, and then press equals, right? So you push 1, then equals, okay? And it inputs it, and it moves it across to B. Under B, you say, okay, under B, I'm going to press minus 1, equals, right? And it puts a minus 1 there under B. Then for C, okay, we're going to put minus 6, equals, right? Then press equals again, and it comes up with this. Okay? Comes up with this. x1 equals 3. Press equals again, and it tells you x2 equals minus 2. It has solved for x for us. How would this look if it was back in equation? We would just take it back like this. Right? So my equation would have been x minus 3, x plus 2 equals 0. Okay? And we would then have, that's how we would have solved it normally. Right? Using the calculator just helps us to do it faster or to check our answers. And once you've done a few, it's actually quite straightforward. Let's have a look at a couple. All right? Let's have a look here. Let's take, oh yes, to return. When you've done all this, you go mode and press 1 again. So to exit, okay, is press mode and then 1, which is to put it back to computer. All right? There is various calculators, various types, various ways they're going to do this. All right? Let's have a look at one or two of these. 5x squared plus 6x plus 1 equals 0. Right. Let's have a look. Over here, a is 5, b is plus 6, c is 1. Therefore, I look and I say x1 equals, x2 equals, right? Let's just go through. We go, first of all, mode. Then we look for EQN. We look for EQN, equation, and push that option 5. Then we choose option 3, which gives us the A, B's, and C's. So we put 5 equals, 6 equals, and 1 equals. And then we press equals again, and we get x1 equals minus 1 over 5. Press equals again, and you get x2 equals minus 1. All right? There's the answers for those. Let's do this one. 16x squared minus 8x minus 3 equals 0. A equals 16, B equals minus 8, C equals minus 3. So we go back, clear it, press AC, clear it all, and you'll see it'll go back. It's still got the A's, B's, and C's in that you had there, so now we've got to overwrite them. So we're going to put 16 equals, minus 8 equals, and minus 3 equals. And the answer is you press equals again, and it becomes x1 equals 3 over 4. And x2, how do we get it? Press equals again, minus a quarter. How would this have looked if we'd have factorized it? Let's look. What do? I take this to the other side. So I'm just going to say that x equals 3 quarters. Therefore, 4x equals 3. Therefore, 4x minus 3 equals 0. There's my first bracket. This side, 4x equals minus 1. 4x plus 1 equals 0. There's my two brackets that I would have solved if I'd have solved that equation normally, right? Let's have a look at this one. 2x squared plus 19x plus 19x plus 24 equals 0. We do the brackets again. Okay, so let's see. We press 2 equals, that's my A. 19 equals is B. 24 equals is that one. Press equals again, and you get x equals minus 3 over 2. And x equals, press equals again, minus 8. Right? Can you see? Okay. Now, lastly, as part of this, all right, try this one. X squared plus x plus 1 equals 0. A equals 1, B equals 1, C equals 1. Let's press it. Let's go. Okay. We say, right, A is 1 equals, 1 equals, 1 equals. Then we press equals, and we get this. We get x1 equals minus a half plus root 3 over 2 times that there. Okay? Essentially, what that means is if you've got that, okay, it means that this is called a complex number. Okay? This actually is something we don't deal with, so there's no real roots. Okay? You're going to see this later. I just want you to make sure that if you get that on your answer, please go back and check what your input was, because the chances are that there's an error involved in there. Okay? Next one we're going to do is we're going to do things called literal equations, where we make something the subject of the formula. Okay? As I say, there are a number of these we're going to be doing in the exam and the test preps. Okay? We'll do some from old papers and wherever we'll think up a bunch of our own as well. Right? So, what's the last step? mode, and choose 1 to put your calculator back. Okay. As I say, please, I know calculators are, and I mean, trust me, they're the bane as well, for me as well, because everybody, you give them an equation and they immediately reach for the comfort blanket of a calculator. I have a problem with that because it doesn't give you the answers, especially if you don't know what you're doing. I know that sounds very silly, but it's the truth. People reach for the calculator as a comfort. They think it's got everything stuck inside here. No, it hasn't. All right. Thanks for being part of that one. And yeah, I'll see you in the next session where we do literal equations or changing the subject to the formula. Thanks for watching. Cheers.